It is finally fall. It is finally spooky season and I'm extremely excited about it. So I'm here with stacks of books again to walk you through my fall TBR. Is it a realistic number? No, probably not. But I am going to try my best. Today we're going to talk about horror books, specifically Gothic horror, but also some retellings of my favorite franchise, stuff like that. So so grab yourself a beverage and a snack, preferably fall themed if possible. And let's dive in. As I said, for me, spooky season starts the 1st of September. We're currently a bit over that, so I might have started this TBR already. But today we're gonna talk about all the spooky books I would like to read this season. On top of the stack, we have Hour of the Pumpkin Queen by Megan Shepherd. This is the sequel to Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. And in this book, we follow Jack and Sally a year after they married. In this, Sally is trying to get all the holiday worlds working together. I don't think I can tell you more because it is a sequel and I don't want to spoil the first book for you if you haven't read it yet. I also have Mirror Moon. This is a Nightmare Before Christmas manga. And when the monster of scares Jack Skeleton has a dream about bringing his expertise in spookiness to the rest of the holiday world, he appoints Sally the official Halloween planner. So he can spend his time in his newest invention. But as Sally coordinates with the Halloween town residents, it becomes clear that something is very wrong. It's almost as if there is a secret doppelganger sneaking around behind her back. Can she get to the bottom of this mystery in time to save the celebrations? It sounds great. And for that one, or for that vlog, I will also be trying to knit something out of my Nightmare Before Christmas knitting book. So I also chose the audiobook of Sally's Lament, which I got on Audible. It is an 8-hour and 28-minute audiobook. I have tried one Twisted Tale before, no, two. I vividly remember one because it was the Alice in Wonderland one and that was very disappointing. But this is by Mary Maniscalco. The Twisted Tale books are all written by different authors. So I think I'm safe giving this a try again. And this book is all about what if Sally discovered Christmas Town instead of Jack. And you know, she gets very suspicious there of the seemingly perfect winter wonderland. You know, what happens when you get on the nasty list, stuff like that. So I am very intrigued about that one. This is basically also a summarizes of all the vlogs you're getting for Halloween. I'm trying to do 30 vlogs for Halloween this year. So all these books are going to be in a vlog. That will be the Nightmare Before Christmas vlog. Next up is a lot of Gothic horror. I will be doing a how much Gothic horror can I read in a week vlog. I just tend to save the most spooky books, the books that I'm the most excited about for September and October. Not because I can't do spooky stuff year round, because I do, and I do read horror year round. However, it is best watched in September and October. And I would like my favorite books to shine, or you know, the ones that I assume gonna be favorites. So I have The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. This is a classic. I don't know which year. Isn't really a classic. I'm not sure if it is officially Gothic horror, but it is in the same vein. This is about Arthur Gibbs, a young lawyer, travels to a remote village to put the affairs of a recently deceased client in order. He works alone in her fog-shrouded house, unaware of the disturbing secret it holds, but his unease grows when he glimpses a mysterious young woman dressed in black at his client's funeral. The locals are strangely unwilling to talk about the sighting, and Kipps is forced to uncover the true identity of the woman in black on his own, leading to a desperate race against time when he discovers her true intent. I'm excited about this one. It sounds good. I also have The Italian by Ann Radcliffe. I basically just put this on the list because Gavin loved it. And Gavin and I have quite similar Gothic horror taste. It was in the church of San Lorenzo at Naples in the year 1758 that Vincenzo di Vivaldi first saw Elena Rosalba. It is love at first sight for the young nobleman, and he soon wins Elena's heart. But the proud Marchesa doesn't approve her son's bond with an ordinary girl. To set an end to the relationship, she and her confessor, the sinister monk, Schedoni, concoct cruel plans that are banished Elena from Vivaldi's life forever. This is giving me the monk vibes. And it was a slow read, but I really enjoyed it in the end. So I hope this is giving the same. And then I have a whole lot of Leatherbound books that have all stories from author wrapped in one. I have H.P. Lovecraft. I've read from H.P. Lovecraft before, and I usually can only read one story because he is highly racist and he doesn't hide it. So I get angry every single time. However, the atmosphere in his books are sort of unmatched for me. I haven't found any author that kind of retells his stories in a non-racist way. If you know, please let me know down below. I would love to know, because I don't want to read racist stories, but I do want to read his stories because of the atmosphere and the ideas that really give me chills. So if I could do that in a non-racist way, that would be perfect. So if you know, please leave it down below. Then I have the Haunted House short story collection. This is in the Gothic fantasy series by Flame Tree. Most of my books are in this series. This is all about haunted houses. I have read quite a few of them already, but I need to get to 13 before October to finish that for my yearly horror bingo board. I also have the book in the same collection from Arthur Machen. I read about his story in a retelling, actually. It's The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Ghost. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend. This is a retelling of all sorts of classic Gothic horrors. It retells Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, but also, I think it's called The Pan God, or The God Pan, by Arthur Machen, that has Dr. Rainbow in it. And I'm really excited after reading this to read the original. So that is the plan. That's why I bought this. I want to read the original and see if I like it, and then read maybe more stories from Arthur Machen. That is a new to me author. Then I have the collector's works of Edgar Allan Poe. I tried to read them all. I have done Poe Bootcamp and failed. But I have read most of his scary stories by now, but there are still a few left. So I hope I can read all of those maybe this year. We will see. I also have the one for Algernon Blackwood. And, the Poe collection as well as the H.P. Lovecraft one are both from Canterbury. They're leatherbound. They're also very pretty. And they hold up really well. Better than the Flame Tree ones, even though these also hold up well. This is my oldest one. We will talk about this later, but it still looks good. And they're way cheaper than the Barnes & Noble ones, so just wanted to throw it out there. If you want leatherbound, Canterbury and Flame Tree both have them, and they're pretty good condition. These are a bit sturdier, I feel like, the Canterbury ones. But they have less. Then I have Algernon Blackwood from the Flame Tree series again. I have read the Wendigo as well as the Willows by Algernon Blackwood, and I really, really love those. The atmosphere is really good. Again, it's a classic and by a racist author. So I don't tend to read them back to back because I get angry. But I do like the atmosphere of these books. Some of these are retold. The Willows I read because I read the Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, which is a retelling of this. And the Wendigo I read because I read the Monstromologist. The second book is called The Curse of the Wendigo, which is a retelling of Algernon Blackwood's The Wendigo. In both, I preferred the retelling. But it is really fun for me to see where the inspiration comes from, how the original story goes, and what they have added, what they've left out. But in both cases, I prefer the retelling. So if you're still looking for spooky books, that's another recommendation right there for you. And then the last Leatherbound I have is from Mary Shelley. I have read Frankenstein, absolutely loved it, and I would like to read everything by Mary Shelley. I want to read more works from Mary Shelley. I think Frankenstein is her most famous and maybe the only famous one, but I am obsessed with Frankenstein, so I really would like to get to more of Mary Shelley's work. On that same vein of me being obsessed with Frankenstein, let's go through all the Frankenstein retellings that are still on my physical TBR that I own and haven't read yet. There are way more on the wishlist as well as in my audiobook. But I hope to prioritize my physical TBR this fall. Recently I acquired Mary Shelley The Monster Hunter. This is a comic. Oh geez, that's gorgeous. Right? I'm enjoying that. Mary Shelley as a monster hunter sounds amazing. I don't know anything else about this. I just saw it in a comic store and had to grab it. This is how it goes with me and Frankenstein retellings. I'm sorry. Travel back to that historic Geneva winter of 1816 when Mary, her fiancé Percy, sister Claire and Fanny, and the celebrated poet Lord Byron finds themselves guests of the eerie Frankenstein estate. The macabre and frightening events that followed lead Mary to both a gruesome and shocking discovery. Their mysterious host is not all what they expected and will change the course of Mary's life forever. It sounds very interesting. I love this, and it is a long series. Then I have this Monstrous Thing by Mackenzi Lee. This is more of a steampunk vibe Frankenstein retelling, if I'm correct. This is set in 1818 in Geneva, and this is about men built with clockwork parts. They're cared for by illegal mechanics, and one of those illegal mechanics lost his sibling and decides to bring him back to life. Curious about it. Then I have Spare Found and Parts by Sarah Mariah Griffin. This is again another steampunky one, I feel like. Nell Crane has never held a boy's hand in a city devastated by an epidemic, where survivors are all missing parts, an arm, a leg, an eye. Nell has always been an outsider. Her father is the famed scientist who created the biomechanical limbs that everyone now uses. But she's the only one with her machinery on the inside, her heart. Since the childhood operation, she has ticked like a clock, like a bomb. And as her community rebuilds, everyone is expected to contribute to society good. But how can Nell live up to her father's revolutionary ideas when she has none of her own? Sounds intriguing. Then I have book 1 and 2 in the Frankenstein series by Dean Koontz. One is The Lost Son and the other one is City of Night. This is a horror retelling of Frankenstein. I have never read anything by Dean Koontz, so I don't really know what to expect. But I would like to get to do At least one of them. At least the first one. To have a taste, if I like it or not. Then I have The Revenge of Frankenstein by Shaun, Hutson. This was a cover by, not gonna lie. Look how it looks. Can you really blame me? It's a horror retelling. And apparently, Frankenstein is wanting revenge. Escaping the guillotine, Victor Frankenstein is now posing as Dr. Stein, altruistic patron of the hospital for the poor. But in a secret basement laboratory, he is harvesting body parts from his helpless patients, using them in his twisted experiments in a bid to create the perfect man. And this time he has help from a would-be pupil. His pupil sees knowledge, but Frankenstein desires vengeance against all those who have tried to stop his terrifying work. The first time he tried it ended in bloody mayhem, but now he is determined that nothing will go wrong. He wants revenge and God helps anyone who gets his way. That is very intriguing to me. I think this is the one I might be the most excited about. Maybe the comic, but then this one. I also have Mary's Monsters, another cover by... I figured this is I saw Mary's Monster, I was like, this has to be about Mary Shelley or Frankenstein. And it is about Mary Shelley. This is by Lita Judge. And it's gorgeous. And the book is fully illustrated. So I would like to read this with some of Mary Shelley's other stories, maybe in a vlog. Then I have a middle grade retelling that is staged by Paige Kenny. And this is about Stitch and his friend Henry Ove. And they were both brought to life by a genius professor. But the professor dies and his evil cousin takes over. So Henry and Stitch has to flee. It sounds really good. I'm excited. And then the last one is again a middle grade and it's Frankenstiltskin. This is a mix-up between Frankenstein and Rumpelstiltskin. This is by Joseph Coolio. And I hope this one is good because there are a lot of fairy tale mix-up in this series. Obviously I had to try the Frankenstein one first. This is also illustrated. This terrifying tale has a cruel king, a talented taxidermist, and a devious little creature with strange and sinister powers. And yes, I am afraid, dear repulsive readers, that there are a few monstrous surprises along the way. It sounds good. I'm very curious about this one. That were all the Frankenstein retellings I want to read. Page. Is decent stack on its own. It has to happen. I'm sorry if you're gonna get bored by the Frankenstein content, but I have to. I want to read them all. I really, really want to. Then I have 2 books by Grady Hendrix. The Horrorstör as well as the Southern's Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires. I have never read a Grady Hendrix before, so I would like to get through that and see what I think, if it is an author for me or not. This is about a haunted furniture shop, and this is about a vampire in an urban setting that infiltrates a housewife's book club. Then I have The Heart of a Dog, which is another mad scientist book that I just enjoy the mad scientist trope, so I would like to give this a try. This is about a successful Moscow professor who put a human heart in a stray dog. No, it's his testicles and pituitary gland of a recently deceased man that he puts in the dog. A distinctly worryingly human animal is now on the loose, and the professor hit their respectable life becomes a nightmare. I'm very curious where this is gonna take me. About another mad scientist. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is one of my favorite Gothic horror classics. And I would like to read 2 retellings of it and make that a vlog, maybe. One is My Dear Henry by Kaylin Barron. This is set in the Victoria era London, and 2 students get expelled from medical school because they're gay. And then one of the friends disappears and the other friend notices a very weird man coming in and out of the friend's apartment. So I'm curious about that one. And then there's not an audio book, but I still have to buy it. And it's Harleen and The Strange Case of Harleen and Harley by Melissa Marr. This is a mix-up between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as well as Harleen Quinn from DC. It looks amazing. I wanted to read this last year, but I couldn't get through all the books I wanted to, and I couldn't buy them all. So I still have to buy it, but I will. And then I will read those 2. And then I still have some vampire books on my physical TBR. One is the first book in the Vampyria series by Victor Dixon. And this is set in the era of King Louis XIV. Yes, in 1715. And this book is basically about what if Louis XIV never died and made all the rich people vampires. And they rule the world now. So that is interesting. Then I have Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a graphic novel about a vampire and a werewolf falling in love. If I'm not wrong. Apparently it's super cute. I am very excited about this. Josephine gave this to me. And I specifically saved it for a Halloween camp because I want to get the vampire badge. And this is a quick one. And then last year I started The House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson, but didn't really get into it. Planned way too much books, couldn't read them all, and this one fell off. That's, that's how it goes sometimes. And this is about blood mates for the rich. I don't know a lot about it, and I would like to get into it like that. I have pre-ordered They Own the Night by Amy Mikhail. It was set to be out on the 11th of September, but it is going to be the 25th of September. So I have to wait until that releases, but I would really like to read it. This is going to be the group book for Camp Enchanted Halloween edition. So I will be reading it in October. But I am excited about it. It is Dracula. It's a gay Dracula retelling set in the 80s. So, and if anyone does vampire books right, it's Amy. So I'm extremely excited for this one. And then I have 2 books that are a bit of a wild card. And I would like to read them in September because they're on my Aurelian TBR. And it's The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean. This was the Nevermorton group book for the Pit and the Pendulum team. And I didn't get to it. And then Barbara sent me her copy, so thank you, Barbara. And it is stunning. She sent me the Illuminate exclusive. She asked me, like, I have the Book Eaters. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it enough to keep. And you want to read it, right? Can I send it to you? And I was like, oh, I would love to. Thank you. And then she sent this special edition. I thought she was just going to send the paperback. So this was a very happy surprise for me. It's gorgeous. It has sprayed edges. And it has a pretty back. And the hardcover is pretty too. I've heard this book is mostly vibes. And I'm here for it. Hidden across England and Scotland live 6 old book eater families. The last of their lines, they exist on the fringe of society and subsist on a diet of stories and legends. Children are rare and their numbers have dwindled. So when Devon Fairweather's second child is born, a dreaded mind eater, a perversion of her own kind, who consumes not stories but the minds and souls of humans, she flees before he can be turned into a weapon for the family or worse. Living among humans and finding prey for her son, Devon seeks a cure for his hunger, but time is running out, for her family wants her back, and with every soul her son consumes, he loses a little more of himself. I'm excited about this one. And then I have Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. This was the group book for Nevermorton for the Morella group, and I didn't get to it. I got 50 pages in. I like it. It is darker than I expected, which is fun to me. This is a dark fairy tale retelling by T. Kingfisher. And I just love her book, so this is a 5-star prediction. Cordelia's mom is a sorceress and she has some abilities. And she uses them on Cordelia and it is not pretty. That's how far I got in. I really enjoyed it, so I would like to read it in spooky season. And I put it on my Aurelium TBR. But I believe it was for single POV or something like that. So it is easily interchanged. But I really want to get to this. And that were all the physical books. However, this fall there are definitely a few new releases that I would like to get to. We already talked about They Own the Night. But Phil Hyde is coming out with a new book that is called The Last Day of October. Which, if Phil Hykes is gonna write a book about Halloween, hell yeah, I want in. Like, that man only writes 5, sometimes 4-star books. I think 2 of them were less than the rest for me and they got 4 stars. So, whatever that man writes, I love. And he wrote Evelyn Jones. And to date, that is my favorite spooky middle grade series. That series, especially the first 2 books, is scarier than a lot of adult books I've read. So highly recommend that if you haven't read it yet. The third book in the Sworn Soldier series is coming out by T. Kingfisher. That is the series that comes from What Moves the Dead and What Feasts at Night, which is my favorite Gothic horror retelling series by T. Kingfisher. What Moves the Dead is The Fall of the House of Usher retelling by Edgar Allan Poe. There are so many good new releases coming out, all in fall. So we'll have to see. But I want them all. If I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, that is, I still have to buy some of those books. I wanted to get the Phil Hykes one, and then Kate told me that please don't. Since I already got a package from Kate, I think she also bought me The Last Day of October by Phil Hykes. So thank you, Kate. I love you. It is not necessary to send me books. But you obviously can see what it does if you do. So please, if you're hearing this and you're like, oh wow, she got books from 3 different people. Like, please don't feel obligated to send me books. You don't have to. But thanks to everyone who did. Like, it is so nice of people when they do it. It's such a surprise to me. And, I would send a book that I am unhauling to somebody else. So I can't even be mad about it. But it feels so special when it's, somebody else does it to me. I don't know. I can't explain, guys. I'm weird with getting gifts. I don't handle it well. But I would like to say thank you to all of you who send me a book. Someday. I would like to say thank you to all of you who have sent me a book in the past. I don't care how long it is ago. I always write it in the book or put the gift note in. It's such a special thing to me. And this is a special time, so it felt appropriate to say thanks again for all your support and, finding so much friends in the bookish community that are willing to send me books. sometimes when I'm home. I don't think Kate sent me books that she'll not. I think she ordered them for me, so that is extra sweet. Thank you. See, I get happy from it. Thanks, you guys. This is it. I feel it's a reasonable stack, right? Please say yes. I can do it. Good. Let's hope. I am going to give it my all. Please let me know down below what books you are the most excited for reading this fall. If you like this video, please like, subscribe if you want to see more spooky chaos from me. There will be a lot of content in these 2 months. If you haven't seen it yet, I would highly suggest you to go watch the Not So Spooky Boo Party. That is one big event. That basically means that I'm going to upload loads of content for you guys, as well as live. So if you want to hear everything about that, I will link it down below and you can watch that. But until then, I will see you next time. Bye!